actually think that in some weird, and it is a very emotional thing, but some weird, twisted up, fateful way, this character who, you know, has searched her whole life for a purpose actually finds her purpose. And it's like this amazing, super emotional, beautiful thing.
You know what I've become.
I don't judge people on their worst mistakes.
Maybe you should.
You didn't.
I feel very fortunate. It's been an incredible gift as an actor to be able to come back to a character that's as complex as Natasha. I think there's kind of a lot to explore there, and that is so exciting.
Robert has a whole career of great work behind him, and he was at a point in his life and his career where he was ready to break out and do something really big and exciting.
John was in love with the idea of Downey playing the part, and we all felt so sure about him on a creative level. Because he wasn't instantly a slam dunk approval, I suggested we have screen tests. I remember walking in with Robert Downey Jr. the day of the tests. He was laughing and in great spirits and completely at ease, and he got in front of the camera and started saying the lines.
I assure you the day weapons are no longer needed to keep the peace cell happily transist to manufacturing bricks and beams for baby hospitals, making hemp pants and the like, but until that time, can I get you a drink?
I don't want to call it an out-of-body experience, but it was one of those rushes that I'm sure like somebody would feel if they're about to play a big sporting arena, playing for the ring or something like that. It was just like, am I going to pass out or am I going to nail this?
On that day that Robert screen tested, it was clear that there was no one else who can play that part.
It was magic. It was exactly the feeling as a casting director with Kevin, with John, with everyone, that we all wanted to have that feeling like we have it. This is it. This is Iron Man.
Are you crying?
No. Yes. This is my destiny.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Oh, yeah!
No, give me that. You have the little one. I am inevitable. And I am Iron Man.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Happy Comic-Con week. For those of you making the annual pilgrimage out to San Diego, please be safe. Have a wonderful weekend. We know that we've got a Russo's panel coming bright and early tomorrow, Friday morning at 11 a.m., followed by Saturday night's big one with Marvel Studios at Hall H. But it's no coincidence that they're also releasing the digital DVD and Blu-ray copies of Avengers Endgame within the next 14 days, and this is a great time for them to start pumping up the bonus features and or deleted scenes they're going to include with the release. We're going to break it all down, especially what it means for Natasha Romanoff's Black Widow as we head directly into her solo movie. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel-related stuff, including copies of the DVD and Blu-ray for Avengers Endgame once they go on sale. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, make sure to leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as you heard Scarlett Johansson so poignantly explain in the prologue to this video, I actually had to watch it a couple times, and I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed that segment on Robert Downey Jr., but that rather reminded me a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that they've already covered for him and a lot of the bonus features for his original DVDs and some other releases. The stuff with Nat talking about her character specifically was something new we hadn't heard before. Haha, I just called Scarlett Johansson Nat, but I'm very looking forward to the rest of that segment extended on the DVD, and I'm guessing that they're going to include it. That's why they would have put it in the promo. Her explaining that, oddly, this was her fateful way of having a purpose. Even though the Avengers had given her family up until now, it was this exact reason, saving Barton's life, making sure he made it back to his family, and or getting the Soul Stone for the Avengers to undo the snap, that was her ultimate purpose. Now, if you guys remember, we've covered it here at the video, there were a lot of quote-unquote alternate scenes, alternate endings for this, in which Black Widow would have lived. They didn't rewrite that until the very ending, and there was that other scene that we covered where there was a huge huge attack on Vormir. I'll go ahead and link my video on that at the end of this video, but where they would have had Outriders. Jeremy Renner just recently talked about it at their first Ace Comic-Con panel, where he explained that he didn't even know which aliens those were because he wasn't in Infinity War. He hadn't seen Outriders yet, and they actually attacked Vormir with Thanos when they went back in time to get the Soul Stone for the first time. Now, that didn't work out as well as they thought, and when they went back in for rewrites, you heard her explain right there, rather ScarJo wanted to make sure Barton made it back to his family and make a sacrifice for him the same way that others had sacrificed for her family, the Avengers. It's definitely an allegorical process here of storytelling, with those who sacrifice, those who have to give of themselves so that others can have. And I really like this change. Initially, I thought it was a little odd that they would set her up for a quote-unquote laden duck scenario, where A, we ultimately already know the character's fate, that she will die on Vormir in the future, and B, locks them into a prequel story, which up until that moment, we didn't know exactly would be that. Some are rumoring now that it's going to happen right after the events of Civil War. Either way, in retrospect, and now thinking about it, it actually gave her character not quote-unquote a lot more purpose, but a lot more weight throughout all of this. From the very beginning, she does feel like an ancillary character, right? Her power sets are not as much as the rest of the Avengers, maybe outside of Hawkeye, but from a different standpoint now, from how important she becomes as an integral piece at the end in obtaining the Soul Stone, but being there from the beginning, just like Nick Fury, there's this sort of overarching theme, this sort of through line, and now getting this prequel Black Widow movie that's going to fill in some of those parts, and they can write the script and story, the narrative to specifically cater to that. I actually think it's going to give it a lot more power, and I may be more excited to see it now knowing that. The other thing about Robert Downey Jr. and his Iron Man outtakes, and like I've said, you can catch a lot of that on the internet, on the bonus DVD features for the first couple of Iron Man movies, just talking about him taking the role, being a natural, and not only locking in Iron Man, but rather locking in the rest of the MCU. And guys, it's crazy to think about at this point that that's how close we were to not only not having a Marvel Cinematic Universe, but to not having an Avengers film altogether. And this happens all the time. If they hadn't have nailed the very first movie and the very first casting with Iron Man, they may not have been able to afford the Hulk stumble and having to recast him as well. That might have meant that they never even make it to the first Avengers film. So the fact that Robert Downey Jr. came on scene and not only locked in, like I said, Iron Man, but rather the Avengers future, because of how successful and how well it did, meant that this whole thing could happen, and that's how we reach going into quote-unquote Phase 4. It's hard to say just how much of an impact, and it's hard to quantify monetarily what that means in a big scope, in a big picture, because as every new fan for the Avengers is added on top of all of us who already have all of this fanfare, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where it's impossible for all of us to remember how close this was to not happening. It's impossible for us all to remember a world without the Avengers franchise, but before Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, none of this existed, and none of this would have if he hadn't have done such a good job. And that's why when you see these people talk about this over at Marvel Studios outside of Robert Downey Jr. himself, the amount of weight it must carry to know that they were that close to either taking this thing and making it happen and or it never getting off the ground, well, I'm sure we're going to see some modicum of that emotion overflow when they have the Hall H panel, if the cast for Avengers Endgame does truly reunite now that they've been able to get some time. You got to remember, they probably didn't even enjoy it when they came out. They were fresh off that 3-month bender of a press tour, and I can attest, when you're this close to a huge artistic project, it's almost impossible to enjoy the final product when you've put this much work into it. Now that they've all had some time to relax and see just how big this is and take it all in, I'm sure the emotions cannot be quantified at all. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you hyped about the DVD and Blu-ray release? I definitely can't wait to get this on my 70-inch and watch it very closely for detail. Also, I'm hyped about the bonus features. I'll take whatever they want to give us, and we also know we're getting 6 deleted scenes, which I'm going to be sure to do videos on, including also all of the Phase 4 announcement stuff and everything at San Diego Comic-Con. So you're going to want to make sure to grab the subscribe button, which leads me into getting into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 500,000 subscriber mark. We should be there in a couple months. All you have to do to win that or any of the DVDs that we'll be giving away, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, make sure to leave a like and a comment on this video, and the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. We're also giving away another PlayStation 4 Pro over on my Spotify account. It's free and easy to enter that one. All you need is a Spotify account. If you have one, great. If you don't, it's free to make one. All you need is an email. Follow the link down in the description and the comments below to my Spotify account, Allfires. Follow it, stream the song, screenshot that, then send that screenshot to everythingalwaysYT@gmail.com. Far fewer people are going to jump through all these hoops and subbing here at the channel. It's a great way of boosting your odds of winning a PlayStation 4 Pro. We're about 3/4 of the way there. If you've already done it once in the last month, you don't have to do it again. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.